Hey, are you ready? Welcome to the Saymichael podcast. What up? Welcome to the Saymichael podcast, one man's attempt at business, family, and comedy. I'm your humble and gracious host, Michael Agbajan, and we have here super producer, Saymichael. What's good?
What's good? We're coming live and direct from Dallas, Texas on Thanksgiving Eve, day before Thanksgiving, so we tapped in today.
Thanksgiving Eve, 47th episode. Man, we making strides, 47.
Almost close to that big 5-0.
Yeah, what's so special about the number 47? Did you have a special thing about the number 47 or no?
Man, I can't really think of anything on the top of my head about the 47.
Do you have a favorite number in general?
If I had to have a favorite number, it'd probably be 88.
For real? Why?
Man, I don't. Michael Irving was one of my favorite players growing up. So.
Yeah.
88. I actually met him a couple summers ago. He had a football camp at UNT, so I was blessed to meet him, bro. He's very, very cool. Like how he is on TV is how he is
in real life. Yeah.
He's down to earth, bro.
That's really cool. Yeah, but look. There's a lot of I have a favorite number. Mine is 3.
3?
Yeah, number 3. I think it's like a juicy number. It's just all round. You know what I mean?
But why 3 though?
I don't know. I feel like 3. 3 is a special number. The one after that, I would think like 7. 7.
Okay, 7.
7 special. Maybe 11, but that's a little cliche.
I was gonna say 11 too.
You were?
Yeah, I was gonna say 11.
Too late though. You know what I'm saying? You said 88.
88, man.
Man, so, I have a lot to catch y'all up on because I don't know if y'all remember, a few episodes ago I said, one of my favorite employees had these emergencies that he had to deal with and, had to kind of take a pause from work. And I wasn't really worried about it, even though he was a serious, piece of the chain that we have. And the reason I said I didn't really worry about it too much is that when someone quits, usually someone comes along from either the past or just new saying, hey, are you hiring? And it did happen. I actually had 2 people, 2 of which worked for me in the past saying, hey, Michael, can we get some work in? And one person, they came in. Look, I said, hey, we could set you up, with a part-time. And he's like, okay, I'm down for it. So I said, do you have a car? Yes, I have a car. Do you have a phone that's working? Yes, I have that. I'm like, all right. And after that, we set him up with an interview for him to come through. I get there to meet him for the interview and tell me why I see him on foot walking towards me. I was like, what's going on? So he pulled up, I said, hey, I thought you had a car. He said, oh, yeah. The dash, something was wrong with the dash. So, I gave it to my brother to go get repaired and just to make sure everything's all right for the job. I was like, all right, cool. So, we tested him out to see where he is detailing wise again. Everything seemed all good. And I was going to set him up for particularly his first day of coming back. Right. But then, the day he was going to come back, I said, hey, where's your car? And he says, oh man, it got towed because I need to get another part of it fixed. I'm like, do you really have a car? And he's like, yeah, I have a car. And then I asked him with his phone, I was like, all right, with your phone, it works, right? And he said, yeah, because he has an iPhone. And I was like, all right, who's your service with? He says, actually, it's not working right now as far as service. I actually work it through Wi-Fi. So there's always some kind of catch with this gentleman, And I was like, man, so I haven't put him in. I haven't inducted him in because, obviously there's some catches to this particular situation. But then another person called right after him. And this guy worked for me in the past. And I mean, the stuff that happened in the past, I remember, he had a situation that was happening for him personally and that he was going to go away for a while. So he said, hey, Michael, these next 2 weeks, hey, fill me up. I need to work as hard as I can so I can make sure my family's good and everything, right? I was like, all right, cool. Next 2 weeks. The next day he didn't show up. He disappeared.
That's wild.
Yeah, I was like, and I'm calling him. And I'm calling him. I was like, where is this guy? So I called the friend who referred him to work with us. Mind you, this guy was with us for at least a year. So I'm like, he just disappeared. So, call his friend. He's like, I don't know what's going on. I know he followed, the Waterboy's Instagram. So I went to his Instagram. Tell me why I see him at Disney World.
Say what?
Yeah, he's in Disney World, with his fam at Disney World. And I was like, and I texted, I was like, hey, are you at Disney World? And he says, oh yeah, I just want to make sure you know, the last thing I do with my family is like something big, that's memorable, and this and that. I'm like, but bro, that's a whole trip. Like you're in Florida,
trip, bro. During a pandemic, bro.
No, it wasn't during a pandemic. This is this was a year and a half ago.
Oh.
Yeah, he's came back. Like he's asking now, like, hey, are you hiring? You know, just the same guy who disappeared to Disneyland before. So there's always these things where I'm like, do I give you third or second chances? You know what I mean? I mean, second and third chances, because I personally feel that second chances are like overrated. Like, are you big on second chances?
Yeah, I'm big on second chances.
I think second chances are cool, but I feel like when someone shows you who they are, that's who they are. You know?
True. It's an old saying that goes, when someone shows you the first time who they are, believe them.
Yeah, believe them. And I feel that way. Like, you know, and to bring them back, because, you know, they say you got to remember the people who help you move forward, and you got to remember the people who kept you back, you know? True. So it's little situations where, you know, you forget that because you're like, I do need somebody to replace somebody, you know, somebody else. And you kind of get into that moment where you make decisions based on convenience versus like based on what's best for the team, based on what's best for the business. So I'm gonna have to, again, think about this and put it on pause because, you know, a lot of people right now are like, you know, trying to get some work in. A lot of people are trying to figure out what they need to do in the in-between time. So, you know, that's something that I'm working out right now. But then also, you know, I had some previous incidences with app developers. So I was like, okay, I've had these two people or two companies that I've been looking to work with when it comes to developing like the Waterboys, you know, app, right? The issue that I've found is that, and this is with a lot of people, not just these two particular companies, is that the people who are creative, like the smaller companies, people who are really creative, if they don't get their business side down, like business processes, communication processes, and all that down, sometimes the miscommunications or the misrepresentations are due to just bad communication. You know, like in the first person that I'm trying to inquire about, you know, their app development, you know, they're telling me that they could do all these things, but then when I ask for, okay, what portfolio, what references do you have? Then they don't provide any. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're like, you have to scramble to try to make sense of what their abilities are, you know, versus them having it laid out that we've done this is what we could do and blah, 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 blah. So you got to kind of pry all this information out of somebody. And then randomly, as I'm trying to make decisions, because, you know, we've been talking about, you know, whether to move forward or not, you know, they send me an email or a message on Facebook and they're like, hey, are you going to kind of, this is what the tone I got. Are you going to move forward with us or not? You know? And I'm like, see, just because you do what you do, don't forget that I'm paying you, if anything, and that you're still in sales. If you don't,
I didn't cut you off. So no, you said that, are you gonna move forward with this or not?
Yeah. Kind of like, are you gonna move forward with this or not? And I'm like, if you're asking, like, if I've come to a decision, no, you know?
That's a little too strong, though.
Yeah, that's what I feel. But see, people get, because they, look, if you're talking about something that you're gonna spend anywhere between $30,000 to $50,000 on, even more, to me, that's big. You know, I don't know what they're familiar with and what companies they use and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you're still in sales. So you're going to figure out how to talk to people and how to, you know, get people in and provide them with clarity so they don't have to like ask all these questions just to figure things out. So that was him. So that kind of threw me off. I was like, look, this guy's impatient. I already even mentioned, I was like, if there's someone else in your company that I could work with, you know, that has more time to kind of help me answer some of these questions, you know, let me know. And he said, oh yeah, we'll make time. And again, same thing happened. You know, we met. It was about 30, 45 minutes, me explaining, you know, what I want, them just listening, and I'm asking them questions, giving short answers. And then basically the next communication I get is, hey, would you like to move forward with this, you know, or not? You know, so I feel like that type of tone, which is inappropriate to trying to close a deal. You know, he could say, hey, just checking, do you have any more questions? You know, but instead, you know, instead of saying, hey, you have any more questions or anything more I can help you with? He's like, hey, are you going to come to a decision and moving with us, or should we move on? You know what I mean? Like, as if like they're the person who's paying me in a sense. You kind of understand what I'm saying?
Got you.
Yeah. And then the second person, this one was like the most annoying, you know, it's because, all right, this person I know I'm familiar with culturally, you know, so he developed an app for himself. And I'm like, okay, you know, he said he has his own like app development company. So I'm like, okay, you have your own app development company. So where's your team? And he said, well, part of the team, part of the team is in Virginia. Part of the team is in Washington. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm trying to get all these questions because he owns all these other companies and all that. I'm like, are you sure so this is you have an app development company where you like lead a tech team? He said, yeah. So again, I keep trying to do my due diligence, getting this whole, this is what we are, look, I'm not really understanding exactly what the business is. So eventually he says, you want to get on the phone with my tech team? I said, sure, I would love that. I think that'll be very helpful. So, to answer some of these questions. Again, so we get on a conference call with the tech team, and the first thing I hear was like an Indian accent, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, hello, mate. Yeah, this is, I think it's like Punjab or whatever. And I was like,
Punjabi?
Yeah, like, hey, this is Unib, Okay. Hey, this is Unib from, I was like, oh, so immediately in my head, what popped off was, your tech team's not here. Your tech team, isn't here.
Is that the support tech or something?
Yeah, and then I was like, what city are you in? He says, I'm in Pakistan. I was like, oh. So I already know how the whole Upwork or online.ph or finding someone to develop your app, overseas. I know about that whole business, right? So I'm like, oh, this is in essence someone farming out work to others. It's almost like when you do, let's say, websites or graphic design, like you could bring in the business, but you're going to kind of push it to all these workers to kind of do it out, push it out for cheap, right? So then I'm confused because I'm like, oh, okay, I thought it was, in America, but hey, let me continue, right? So I'm asking questions. And the one particular app that I liked that they showed me, because I didn't like any of them they showed me, but the one particular one that I liked, I said, hey, what about this app? I named the app. And he's like, I don't, and then the person who is supposed to kind of work between this whole app development, the leader of the company was like jumped in like, hey, yeah, remember we talked about that? Oh, now I'm feeling like, oh, you're trying to save him from like getting you in trouble. Mm-hmm. And then as I'm like, okay, so you never worked on this app? He said, no, we actually, so again, speaking for him again, so, it starts getting awkward. So now I end the call and I said, hey, I want to talk to you because I feel like there's a little bit of misrepresentation happening, and he's like, oh, why is that? He says, because in the end of the call, he was pushing me to say, hey, Michael, maybe like we can't, help you with your vision. Maybe it's almost like saying, maybe you can't afford us right now. You know what I mean? Maybe you're being too picky and maybe we're just not for you. It's like, no. Let's not get it twisted.
Strange, man.
Yeah. I said, what you were sending me as samples didn't work. They weren't close at all to what I'm talking about. And I wasn't ready to move forward. The only one that you did send me, the guy never created. And he's like, oh, okay. I said, yeah, that's the problem. Like, you're being inconsistent. Things that you're saying aren't consistent. He's like, yeah, but I was like, is this a company? And he said, yeah, it's a company. I was like, so does this gentleman, do you pay him exclusively? Does he work for you? And he says, well, I don't think it's a fair question. I was like, what do you mean it's not a fair question? He says, me telling you like what our splits are and what I split with this. I'm like, I didn't ask you your splits. I asked you, is this person like, do you subcontract with him or is this an employee? Yeah, but I feel like that's like proprietary, to my company. I was like, man, it just gets to a point where
jumping through loops, man. Yeah,
you just want clear, clean communication. And that's the hard part is that, when you're talking about improving in business, you're talking about going from creative to doing the technical, right? Yeah. You got to structure your company in a way to support like clarity, like just like how you do for your employees. You want to bring them in where everything's transparent, or what you do for your customers, everything's transparent. That's what you got to push out to potential customers. Like, it's like, why would I need to ask and fish for all these like questions trying to figure out, is this legitimate or not? And I know if I'm about to make a $30,000 to $50,000 investment into something, I want to have pure clarity, and I asked questions that were really hard. I feel like some stuff I could have just said, let's start, let's drop the $5,000 deposit and let's start this process. But I knew, I'm like, even though I feel good about it and I really am, excited to even do it, I just don't feel like I've asked enough questions, or I've got down to the nitty gritty, because I've been in a situation before I didn't ask those questions and I always get duped,
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you got to figure out like, all right, ask the hard questions. That's why I even tweeted out the other day about, trust is important, or trust in your gut's important, but still ask more questions. Like you have to ask more questions because, that's where you get to the truth, which I did, so far I told him like, hey, we're going to have to table this whole thing, no hard feelings, but I really kind of was confused at how people try to project themselves. They want to show themselves or the company as a certain something. And you can't just slap, a website and an entity together and say, hey, it is this, like people ask me like with the car wash all the time. They say, hey, are you employed? Like the people who work for you, are they employees or the contractors? And that was actually an example that I gave him. I'm like, people ask me that question all the time. It's not unfair. I think they want to know, are these people are you just upcharging me extra just to get another company to come do this? Because I could just find another company. Or are you employing these people and this is all in-house through you? You handle everything, right? Like, I feel like it's an important distinction to understand that, is this company legit? Like, are they looking to grow this in a way that actually makes sense and works for the customer and their needs? Or are you some type of middle contractor who, like the locksmith, if you ever call for a locksmith, they'll hook you up with like local locksmiths in the area. And when the locksmith comes in, you'll get your lock done or whatever. And they'll say, hey, next time you need your locks changed or whatever, call me directly. Same thing happens with tow drivers. You call a tow company, they're not really a tow company, it's more of a dispatch, and they contact all these other tow companies. And when that tow company comes and tows for you, they say, hey, next time you need a tow, call me directly. That's the way, if you don't have it where they aren't employees and the subcontractor is going to say, I can make more money going to you directly versus like, giving a piece to these other companies that are kind of like dispatching us, So I think that there is an important distinction to say, like, if you're going to be legitimate and be clear about your business, like put it all up front, like show like actual work, like show your portfolio, like don't have it to where someone has to dig and ask to see like if y'all are legit. This is to me an observation of people just doing kind of just poor business. You could just do much better, but I know I've been talking to y'all the last few weeks about Clubhouse, and you even mentioned it earlier today.
Yeah, so I've been on it the last couple of days, man, and I feel like the best hours to be on Clubhouse is in the morning, like 2 to 5 in the morning.
Why?
That's when like the like, I don't know, and for me, because I got invited to
like 2 a.m.
2 a.m. in the morning. Bro. I just been like getting a free game, bro. Like stuff I didn't even know about. Like that's one thing about life, bro. Every day you have an opportunity like to get free game every day. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but do you know about the Thanksgiving beef that's going on there?
Nah, bro. Fill me on.
Man, okay. So Joe Budden strikes again.
Oh man, this guy.
Joe Budden strikes again. So basically, what's happening on Clubhouse, and it's weird because this is really a culture war, is that there's been groups. I'm talking about like large rooms where there's like 300, 400, 500 people in there. And what's happening is that they feel that because the black culture is making this, app very hot, that they deserve a certain level of equity into the business. And they're now making demands as far as what this company needs to do, Clubhouse and their co-founders need to do in order for us as black people to move forward with this app, And Joe Budden was the one who's saying this. This is him in the app. I mean, in a room, he was like, hey, I'm letting y'all know, y'all like, y'all want to get on here, have fun, listen a little bit, have a good time. But look, what we're fighting for is much bigger. I'm like, look, I wasn't aware there's a fight going on, but basically they're saying that, you need to create a safe place for black people to reside, and you need to make these changes with your app, and you need to have these people within your company to move forward with the culture and all this, or we're going to take all our, followers and everybody to the cookout, which is like supposed to be this other app, which I haven't seen yet, And to me, I don't see how you could go into someone else's house and tell them this is how you should build your house. I feel like if you're trying to make demands of what someone else created and have expectations for what someone else created, don't participate.
Yeah.
To me, it's another example of the whole Spotify, his deal with him and Spotify and his deal with him and Complex. The way he sees a business is that when he goes in, that if you make it hot, that he should get a seat at the table, or he should have equity. But what people don't understand is that, okay, if you made an outfit hot, think about that. If you made an outfit hot, you wore it and everyone wants to wear it now, that outfit also made you hot too. Mm-hmm. It's on both sides. It's a mutual thing. So if you now are on a platform where you have garnered all these followers to finally say, hey, now that I have all these followers, this is what I demand. I feel like this is confusing it, because I don't agree with going into a company or going into anybody's creation and saying this is what you need to do with it in order for like us on behalf of everybody before we move forward. And that's what's kind of, you haven't heard about this beef that's happening?
Nah, I never heard about the Thanksgiving beef.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, what are you grateful for Thanksgiving? You know what I mean? Like Joe Budden, you have little gripes a little bit with him every now and then, right?
Yeah, bro. I feel like he just one of those grumpy old men, bro. He just angry for no reason, bro. Like, I
don't know. I feel like that is it. Issue? I feel like what it is always a misunderstanding. And he thinks, again, this is often just listening to him. But then these little groups, because when he has a room, and again, if you're not familiar with the Clubhouse app, is basically a place where you could go and have really good conversations in group settings online, and you can have talks with Meek Mill, 21 Savage, being vulnerable, really talking about the issues you have, and people actually helping you in real time, and having professionals. Like if I have an issue with, like, let's say DJ, and someone could tap in DJ Clue and he'll talk to me right now, Yeah. So, you could really tap in and listen to what's happening in and outside of the culture. And, to see that this app has barely gotten started, it's less than a year old, and we're already in a moment of like negative energy on what this app is doing for us or not. And that the fact that it's in its infancy, this is what we need to see going forward, for our people. And, I'm like,
exactly. Like Clubhouse been getting spicy lately though.
It has. But you see, like right after that happened, they had a group called like the Cap Olympics. Like they're just saying all this little, they talking about like Joe Budden and another person, I don't want to name them specifically, but they're trying to lead to say that we're watching out and looking to protect the culture, when really this other person is feeling like it's all pure cap. Like you're trying to have power, you're trying to have greed, and especially now that it's in its infancy, they're trying to create this and almost like strong arm and hijack the app to say this is what it needs to be going forward, or we out. And I don't think it's genuine either. He's going into these companies and he's saying this is what he thinks companies should do for him or for the culture, when he should just build his own. I thought that was what his gripe was with Spotify. I'm like, okay, go build your own network. But then before he left to Spotify, he was dissing Apple, and then now he's back on Apple.
Man, boys be delusional here, bro.
I just feel like this is just not how it works. You can't go into other people's anything and tell them how to do it, unless you actually already have a seat at the table. But you can't already start griping because just things you don't understand, So again, it's just a big misunderstanding. But there's a few other things that are happening out there, like Elon Musk is now the second richest man in the world.
Yeah, he's basically the Batman of the world right now.
Yeah, like he surpassed Bill Gates. I think he's at like $188 billion.
Jeez,
No, 128 billion. 128 billion.
So he's right behind Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, he's right behind Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, basically, Elon Musk is basically Batman without being Batman.
Oh, well, when you say Batman, I think more of like Iron Man.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I would think more like Iron Man. I think actually they based Iron Man's character off of him.
Yeah.
But, so that's happening. That's huge, because of Tesla. And, they sold 3 times earnings what people expected this year alone. So that's pretty amazing what kind of propped them up. Then also, because right now they're at 500 billion. So it's just wild what's happening there. But then also, no, is it 500 billion or 50 billion?
I think it's 500. I want to know if there's any stocks that I can get into with Elon Musk though.
Tesla.
Oh, Tesla. Okay.
Yeah. Tesla.
Say less.
Yeah. And then if you go to Robinhood, you can buy like parts of the stock, because the stock is like I don't want to get it wrong, but it's above $100. So if you don't want to buy each share for that amount, you can buy portions. You can buy $20 worth.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I would say go there. And then you got Square. They bought Credit Karma. Well, their tax side, their tax preparation. So they bought them. And then even the last part, McCormick. The ones who do the seasoning?
Yeah, McCormick. Yeah.
They purchased Cholula. You know the Hispanic hot sauce with the woman?
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
No way.
800 million.
That's a bag.
Yeah, I was like, man, because I'm thinking they overpay for Cholula because it's only $5 in Walmart. So I'm like, what are they really paying for? But I get that they're buying the company.
Looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, because, you know, anybody who's in the hot sauce business or whatever, like the fact that, you know, they got that $800 million sale, I mean, that's huge, you know.
I have a question, though. Do y'all use Obey?
Obey, no.
Y'all don't use it?
Okay. We used to use Accent, though. That's not really... Yeah, it is McCormick's. Accent.
Yeah.
But we don't use it like that anymore, though, because I think it has, like, a lot of MSG.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. But I did have a question. This is before we wrap up to the next segment. What's the difference between, or is there a difference? This is a better question. Is there a difference between 73 degrees hot on your AC and 73 degrees cold on your AC?
I think cold.
Here's what I've encountered so I can give you a little bit more information. Right. When I put it on 73 degrees cold, okay, it blows like cool air. But when I put it on 73 degrees hot, it blows hot air. Yeah. But both are at 73 degrees. I've been trying to figure out how to make sense of it because shouldn't it be regardless 73 degrees?
That's like saying, like, if you go outside, what's the difference between 73 degrees straight or 73 degrees with the breeze?
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Actually, look, my wife made that same example. She's like, I think with wind, I'm like, well, ain't no wind in the house, you know?
Ain't no wind in the house.
So what is it? So shouldn't if you're gonna put like any AC in your house, shouldn't it just be like 73 degrees?
I mean, when I'm at the crib, mine is always between 71, 73. Some people I know they'll go like 65, 68. I'm like,
but they put it on you're talking about 75, 73 on cold, right?
Yeah.
But would you ever put it on 75, 73 on heat?
I have before.
And it's different?
It's different.
How?
I just don't know. I guess it's the heat.
I don't know how to explain. I don't know how 73 degrees hot and 73 degrees cold are different.
I guess it's like if you have a heater and you turn the heater up a notch just a little bit. And it's, you know what I'm saying? It's a little warm. This is warm. Instead of you know what I'm saying? If I turn it up all the way, now it's getting toasty.
Yeah.
So I do see what you're saying to a certain extent, though.
Yeah. Some questions that need answering. But yeah, appreciate y'all. You know, this next segment is, you know, me, myself, and Bly, me and my wife have a good, juicy conversation. Hope that you enjoy it. And if you listen to this during or after Thanksgiving, I hope you're having fun there. We'll see you later. Any parting notes?
Speaking of Thanksgiving, what's your favorite dish before we step off here?
My favorite dish for
sides, whatever.
The stuffing.
Same
stuffing is
cranberry. See, the thing is with people though, they always say turkey is the most bland dish, which to their fault it is. But you have to season your turkey, like say Cajun turkey.
Yeah, Cajun turkey or fried turkey.
Yes.
Have you had a fried turkey?
I never had a fried turkey, but I had Cajun though.
It's different. Yeah.
This is one year. I think my parents had some turkey from Popeye.
Yeah.
I bought that hoe. The hoe was good.
It was good. It was good from Popeyes.
From Popeyes.
Ooh. Oh yeah. So it was like a Cajun smoked turkey.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like that. Okay. I look at it like this. It's too easy to say turkey because that's the most essential part of like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, of Thanksgiving.
But what other than turkey can you not like? Would it make Thanksgiving the same if you were without it? And I would think stuffing. Like if I don't have my mom's stuffing, I'm like, okay, I need that. I need that. Right, I need
my cranberry sauce on my rolls.
Yeah,
man.
Do you like cranberry sauce with cranberries in it, or you like the cranberry canned one?
Either or, it don't matter.
Either or. This guy, I want the canned.
As I grew up, I like the one with the cranberry because I like it.
Yeah. I like the one with the can because it's kind of jelly, sweet,
Exactly.
Yeah, I know I'm getting all in the weeds, but that's how I see it. Like the stuffing, if you got on one spoon, if I have, you ever heard of the Thanksgiving sandwich?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, where they had that roll full of everything. Like all right, when I have the stuffing or dressing, I don't know where you're from, how you describe it, with the turkey and the cranberry sauce. Ooh, that bite right there, man, that's what I look forward to. And then pecan pie is what I also look forward to.
Pumpkin for me, man.
Yeah, is it pumpkin or I like pumpkin over sweet potato, but pecan pie, yeah.
Your mom put me on pumpkin, bro.
Yeah. We going in. So are you ready for Thanksgiving? Are you going to Cowboy? Oh, they canceled the Cowboy game, right?
No, they didn't cancel it. So the thing is, I decided I'm not going to the Thanksgiving game, but the third Thanksgiving game, the Ravens and Steelers got canceled tomorrow night because of positive COVID tests have came back. So I think they're pushing the game back to Sunday.
Man. Well, guess that says it all.
Says it all.
Appreciate y'all for listening. We'll holler at y'all. Peace.
Happy Thanksgiving.
What's goody?
What it do?
How are you?
I'm good.
I should have a button where you press and says, "Hey, what's good? How are you?" Right? Because I have the same intro, right?
It's all good. It's all good. I'm doing good today. I feel good. I feel great. Yeah, I feel good.
Tell me, so this is great. This is a whole different thing.
So weird, right?
What's different?
Well, I was off today, and I ain't gonna say I got rest. I really didn't get rest. I took a 10-minute nap because it kept being interrupted by text messages. But I just like deep cleaned the house, and that just makes me feel good. You know, like sweeping and mopping and wiping stuff down. It just, it just smells fresh in here. It smells good. It makes me feel good too.
Yeah, it is a difference. I always say that's the where to start when it comes to like getting your environment better. Exactly.
Just kind of picking up the toys and, just kind of straightening everything. It just makes me feel better,
Yeah, I was talking to my CPA today. And a certified public accountant, if for anybody who doesn't know. So my CPA, she was telling me about how with her kids, she can't stand when they lose toys.
Oh, same.
Yeah, she's like, there's toys, like we spent like $400 on these sets of this and this and that, and the cousin came over, they traded.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, but they're gonna lose toys given how many toys, right?
This is true.
And she's like, no, my toys are really organized. She said, like, it's really clean, super organized, all the toys. And then it made me think, like, we need to do that.
Well, see, okay, I did that. I did that this summer. But the thing is, they get so many toys, not from just us, but like from family. And, they love their Happy Meals, so they get the toys from there. And it's just like, you can straighten it, you can clean it, you can organize it, but over time, it just gets messy and unorganized because obviously they don't know how to keep it clean. So that's like another project for me to do. I feel like that mom, the CPA, who has her kids' toys all organized, she probably does it. That's probably like a chore of hers that she does every day.
She said her 11-year-old, she has like a strict schedule.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she has like a calendar already filled out. She says she's been doing that since 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that she's like super organized, but the boy, he's like everywhere.
Yo, of course. And see, we got 2 boys, so both of them are all over the place, Even when they go through their toys and they just throw stuff everywhere, and I get so frustrated, I'm like, no, let's go back in the room. Let's pick up all your toys. Even they take forever. Like they sit on the floor and they pick up a toy and they're like, oh, I didn't know I had this. And they're playing with it. I'm like, no, it's cleanup time. You know, like they're just sitting there just like, da, 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 da. And then I just end up doing it because I'm just like, oh, so frustrated. Yeah. So, I mean, it starts off organized and then over time it's just like, whatever, just throw everything in there. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah, because you don't know where to put certain stuff. Like,
you don't.
The Hot Wheels.
Exactly. They have so many of those Hot Wheel tracks. It's like, do I break it down or do I keep them, as a roller coaster? Yeah. Do I keep them up? Like, that's always a struggle.
That is a choice.
They have so many of them, And then they don't play with their Hot Wheel tracks anymore because they can't find the Hot Wheel cars. And it's just like, oh my goodness.
And these little tracks are Hot Wheel specific. Like, if you just put anything in it, it doesn't work.
It does not work.
So, so you clean up the house. Makes you feel
it just makes
better
me feel,
inside and out.
Yeah, and I had so much to do today, and I knew that was one thing I wanted to tackle, which is like, just deep cleaning the house. So thankfully I did all that, got that out the way, and I did some other things around the house too. So just getting it out the way, before Thanksgiving. Not that we're going to have family over, but it's just always good to have like a clean house just in case the family wants to stop by.
Just in case.
Just in case,
No one coming over.
I know, right? No surprises. So when you come over, you smell it, you're like, ooh, it smells so good in here. guess because I just clean.
Yeah, you're really big on that. Like the scent has to.
It has, yes. Every time you tell me that somebody came by, I'm like, oh, did you light a candle? You know, like, it's always something. I always, like, if I know someone's coming, I'm mopping, I'm Swiffering, I'm wiping things down. Like, I have the washing machine going or something. Like, I just want the house to smell fresh. I don't ever want somebody to leave and say, ooh, their house stinks.
Yeah,
which I know our house doesn't, but I just love the smell of a clean
I think it's important.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's certain scents. Like, okay, what's your scent?
See, okay, I'm starting now to get into.
Don't mention the rose, but I just continue.
You knew I was gonna say, okay, I'm starting now getting into like a rose scent. So I like those rose candles, but I love more anything that smells like a spa. So like the sea salt candles, those are probably like my favorite. Right now I have like the amber, what is it? Amber moss?
Yeah, amber moss.
That one is like
so good.
Yes, that's like my top number one. And the number two is like anything sea salt. I just like the smell of a spa. You know, I like that smell. I don't know.
But it can't be like sea salt caramel or something like that.
No. I'm not into any of those caramels or pumpkin pies, those Thanksgiving scents. I don't like any of those. Vanilla, I used to like vanilla, but I don't like that either. I just like clean scent. I like lemon.
Yeah.
You know, anything lemony, citrusy. I like that scent too because it just smells clean.
That's what we do for our customers though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have these standard smells. We have new car.
Oh, I love a new car smell.
Yeah, that's probably the favorite one.
Yes.
And then we have leather.
Oh, I like leather too.
Yeah. People like that one, but that's like a rare one.
I like that one.
Fresh air.
Oh, okay. Yes, I love that.
And the last one, linen.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Who doesn't like the smell of clean laundry?
Yeah,
you know? Do y'all ever have like weird requests like grass scent? I love the smell of fresh cut grass too.
That'd be interesting. Actually, that's really smart if that even is out there. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I would like that.
Fresh cut grass.
Yeah, I like the
or
smell
gasoline.
of it. You know, I like the smell of gasoline too, but not for too long because then it gives me a headache. But I do like the smell of gasoline.
I told you about one of our customers. He's been with us actually like 9 years.
Oh, dang.
And I remember one time they put a scent in his car as a wafer and they couldn't find it.
Oh, no.
Oh, he couldn't find it. He's like, where is this? Like, he was really upset. He's like, where is this wafer? Like,
he didn't like the smell?
He hated it. Like, they put it like through his car, but he couldn't find it.
Oh, no.
This guy brought it to Range Rover and he said, you know, y'all find it. They couldn't find it.
Okay.
He told us, if we can't find it, he's going to sell the car.
What?
Yeah. Or trade it in because he cannot take the scent.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and he said it's giving me a throb. I can't even drive the car. He got a rental car.
What?
Yeah, it was just like blown out of proportion.
Yeah, he was doing the most.
Yeah, he's actually a member with us to this day.
Oh, really?
But it was his Range Rover, and he's like, look, if y'all can't find this scent, I think I'm gonna have to sell this car.
What?
And it's making me worry because I'm like,
no.
How big of a deal is this scent? You know?
Did y'all ever find it?
Yeah, I found it.
Where
it was actually
it?
under his, like, you know, right under the seat. There's like a vent, and they put it in there.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So when the air blows, oh, gotcha.
But we had big problems with the whole wafer thing. Like one guy put the wafer in it says do not put on the AC, but he wants it to like the customer to smell it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he put it on the AC. The whole dash, like the sun hit it, the dash melted.
Oh no!
Yeah, like the whole dash. Like if you look at it, he says, look at the picture. Like he sent me an email said, y'all put this wafer on my dash and look at it. It's all like all the plastic just melted. I was like,
oh my God.
What kind of concoction is this? You know, and it was like a little piece of paper that they put in there. But I guess when it activates with the sun and it said on there, do not put on dash, do not put that on AC units, it said do not.
And they did it anyway.
But you would think, worst case scenario, that's not going to happen.
I wouldn't think that.
Yeah. It literally looked like someone burnt. Like literally took a lighter and put, like, you know how like boils it to black. It was all over. I was like, what? So we had to replace his entire dash.
Oh my God!
It was like $1,500.
What?
But I got insurance. I had insurance at that time.
I'm about to say, but I mean, just because of a little wafer.
Wafer, yeah, 25-cent wafer.
Wow.
And then when I used my insurance, they dropped me from my insurance because of that. Yeah, they dropped me. I was like, what's the use of having insurance if I can't use it? It's like, because you're not supposed to have any incidents. I'm like,
then what's the point of insurance?
Exactly. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
You know, when I started, I would have so many different insurance carriers because It's like the first time we ever started, you know, like there's a Hummer, and he said, hey, can you move it from this garage to this? So we took the Hummer, we moved it, and you know those banks, those little things on the top?
I knew you were gonna say something like that.
He was going, and then doom, he hit the top of the roof, and then like it crushed in his sunroof. It was like, you know, the Hummers.
Yeah.
It wasn't the H1, not the one that they use in the Army.
Okay.
It was the one that, you know, people use if they're in construction, those big, you know, boxy ones.
Yeah.
And those just came out. So that cost us like, I think just to fix that part was like $3,000.
And you were dropped from your insurance then?
Yeah, I was dropped from my insurance. I was dropped from my insurance because I'm like, either pay the $3,000 or claim it. So my deductible was like $500.
Yeah.
Paid $500, and then when it came time to renew, dropped. You know,
my goodness.
I was like, man. And then it happened again where you have to choose, like, do I use insurance or do I risk being dropped? Because once you use it once, they're gonna drop you.
That's so weird to me.
Wild.
What's the point of even having them?
I know.
Use them, right?
Yeah, but I keep finding little loopholes because I haven't paid more since I started. You know, because you know, some people pay like $800 to like $1,500 a month just for the insurance.
Oh my God.
But me, I mean, you're looking at like anywhere between like $200 and $400 per month.
Yeah.
I don't want to drop the number. I don't want to give my proprietary information. You know what I'm saying?
Your little secrets.
Yeah. But you know, it's always been a good rate. I used to pay even more back then, but I pay even better now.
Well, that's good. I mean,
I haven't had any incidents like that though.
No, you haven't. You haven't. Not recently. That's
and if
really
it was,
good.
I'll probably do out of pocket.
I will hope so, because we don't need you being dropped by nobody.
Yeah. But yeah, so the house is clean. Your day. How was your day off?
It was good. It was real chill. You know, it was just a lot of cleaning. Yeah. That's really all that I did. I didn't go anywhere.
Did the rain have anything to do with it?
Yeah. Well, you know, it was kind of like cloudy all morning, and it was kind of like misty, I guess you could say, outside, real dewy.
Dewy.
Then, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You
real
know,
moist outside.
It was real moist, yeah. And the sun came out randomly at like 3 o'clock, and then before you know it, it was back down again. You know, by 5 or whatever time. But I mean, today was a good day. I really didn't have any complaints. I wanted to go to Target. Honestly, I just wanted to go to Target to buy like just one thing, but I'm so glad I didn't go, because I know like Target gets me in so much trouble. Like,
you can't resist?
I cannot resist. Like, I'll go grab something and I'm like, oh, look at these cute little t-shirts. Or I'm like, I need a new nail polish. Or, oh, look, they got new candles. Like, I'm always getting in trouble in Target, and I just go for one thing. And then what really gets me is, in the front of Target, they have these like this huge area where everything is less than $5.
Oh, the little right when you come in.
Yes, right when you come in, and that's like dangerous for me, because you know they have all like the little trinkets.
Yeah,
and toys
you like them sweet deals.
I love them sweet deals. And the last time I went, I only was supposed to get like just 2 pumpkins, just the small little plastic pumpkins. But they had like the velvet pumpkins and the felt, all these different fabrics and colors, and then I saw these little workbooks that the boys could use, and these little toys, and I was just like, oh my God, I was only supposed to spend like $6, and I ended up spending like almost $100.
But see, tell me if that is to like a benefit, right? Like you go to buy one thing,
right,
but you stumble upon better deals. You know, like we went to go find you that, remember we went to go find you that blanket to go for your flower wall?
Yes.
And then while we found it, one of my favorite mugs.
This is true.
Yeah, you know.
This is true. We did find other things. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like Target just gets me in trouble all the time, you know. I can go in there for just like toilet tissue, and I end up with a basket full of stuff. And sometimes it's stuff that I don't even need. Like all those pumpkins, I really do not need those. Matter of fact, those pumpkins still have tags on them.
They do.
Yeah, they do. It's like 6 of them, and they're just sitting there with tags on them. Like,
but you can use them in the future, though.
True. I mean, yeah, you can use them every year, but I didn't use them this year.
Man, damn. Damn.
But I mean, it's all good. I mean, I love Target, but I didn't go today, so I talked myself out of that. So
you mentioned toilet tissue because you know that's on shortage right now.
It is again?
Yeah, because of the whole COVID.
Oh my God, y'all.
They said, look, okay, one of my customers called today because he goes back and forth. He's a EMT.
Okay.
So he helps like out there in New York.
Yeah.
So he's back and he was like, he wants to schedule a service, but you know, he's telling me about how bad it is. He's like, man, Texas is so bad compared to New York.
Really?
Yeah. He says like the hospitals, it's like really tight. And then he said, Georgia's really bad. He said Florida. He said all these red states, they're just so bad. And he's like, he's really, big into like, he's a big advocate of like wearing masks because he hasn't got COVID yet.
Yeah.
And he attributes that to the mask. But he just talks about like the hospitals are really tight right now.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess that's what people are preparing for.
Man.
Which is like the next
shutdown.
I don't know if it's a shutdown that's coming, but it is getting worse.
Sure. Whatever we went through a few months ago, I feel like that's what is going to happen soon.
I mean, I think the other day, they had a few, like 100 that died in a single day, something like that.
I heard, I don't know if this is true, but they said something like they had like prison mates volunteered to like take the bodies that, obviously passed away, people that passed away, take their bodies to like frozen trucks or something. That's what I heard or read. I don't know if that's true, but they're saying that.
Talking about the people in jail who died?
No. People who are in jail, like inmates, they're volunteering to help hospitals carry dead bodies out and put them in these like ice trucks or something.
Wow.
Because they don't have any room.
Yeah, they don't have any room. I'm hearing the same thing about I remember back in the day, like not back in the day, but like around like April, March, they were doing the whole U-Haul, all that. But now they said they're more prepared, but they are using like trucks to fill up the bodies. It's wild. Yeah. Because insane. We had a discussion the other day about like, are you going to take the vaccine? They're asking the question, like taking a poll for everyone who came in, this particular room. Are you going to take the vaccine? The general consensus was no. Yeah. But people didn't want to be the first.
Oh, they didn't want to say it.
Yeah, they didn't want to be the first. And the only way that people said I'll take it is if their health professional took it. Like they know people personally who are in the health profession. Right. And they said if they take it and they recommend it, because they're saying that if they give it to all the doctors first, then why would they do that? Like get rid of them per se. Right, exactly. First, if they're the people to help, you know what I mean?
They're not going to give it to the doctors first. They're going to give it to us because we're the guinea pigs.
No, they're going to give it to the people who need it most, like old people who are like on the edge. Right. Because, nursing homes, things like that, So what are your thoughts on the vaccine?
I don't know. The vaccine kind of scares me because I don't know really what's in it. But then again, I don't know what's in like a flu shot or all those other shots that we had to take as kids or, as adults. So it does make me a little nervous. But I mean, I feel like if we just wear our mask, we should be okay, right?
Well, I think mask, that's preventative. But then also you have to get the right things in your body to protect and boost your immune. Right. Like magnesium, zinc. Yeah. You hear about that? One guy was talking about hydrochloroquine. I was like, don't even start.
Oh, well, we know who he voted for.
I said, don't even start hydrochloroquine. But I think that if you do multivitamins that work for you, and fix yourself on the inside, that helps a lot. Because I had a friend who got it, and him and his girlfriend both, did all these preventative measures, right? And then, when they got it, they had nothing but like their scent kind of went away. Oh, wow. Yeah. But their friend got it, who's same equal like build or whatever. And she wasn't taking all these preventative measures like, the zinc or the multivitamins or whatever. And she got really sick, was in the hospital for like 3 weeks.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So they say it's like hit or miss. Not to say that that's going to prevent you from everything.
Right, exactly.
But there is a way to like prepare for the worst,
Yeah, but then I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say this because this might like put a hole in your story. But do you remember like early when the virus first came out, there was a guy who was like a health rat and he only ate like fruits, vegetables and he juices died. And stuff. And he ended up dying from it.
And his worst about that, his last post, remember, it was about making fun of Corona.
Exactly. He caught it and he died from it. And this guy was like in the gym. Was he vegan?
I'm not sure, but he had like a smoothie company or something like that.
So it's like
he's juicing, he's doing all this. Man,
it's just like you just never know. Look, it's all up to God. If it's our time, it's our time. There's really nothing we can say or do about it. You know what I mean? So,
but maybe he had like another condition.
Maybe he did, but.
Because some people be hiding their diabetes, you know what I mean?
Shut up. I cannot. This boy.
Some people I'm finding out they had I found out someone that we went to college with had diabetes, but it explained a lot.
What?
But I'm not gonna tell you who. I'm not gonna tell you who.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, because I don't even want to know. Because now I'm gonna be looking at them differently. Like all this time you had diabetes, you didn't even tell nobody. You know what I mean? So don't tell me.
That is a weird thing. Do you think you have to volunteer information like that?
No, but I think it's kind of embarrassing too. I mean, you're in college and you're young. You're supposed to be like at your prime. You can eat whatever you want because nothing affects you. But then to have diabetes, you're just like, like when you're skinny and have diabetes, and then people are like, I thought you had to be big, and the whole misconception. Yeah, exactly. And you could be born with it too, because this security guard who works at our mall, her granddaughter was born with diabetes, but it's like different types of diabetes. So she has to do like
type 1, type 2.
Yeah, she has to do like the insulin shot and stuff like that, and monitor everything. So, and she's right now she's like 6 years old. Yeah,
type 1 is the one where you are born with.
Oh, okay.
Where your body doesn't produce insulin correctly, and then type 2 is the one that you get like from like
bad diet,
or
okay.
you could develop that one.
Oh, I see.
So
yeah, my dad is pre-diabetic. I just found that out like last year, so I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know that. But I'm like, how is he pre-diabetic when my mom cooked like every day, and they ate the same foods, but I guess your body just breaks down foods.
But New Orleans food is different.
True,
y'all cooking beignets every day.
I know, but I'm saying if he's a pre-diabetic, I would think my mom is. I would think I am. We all ate the same food, so it's just like, what did we do that he didn't do?
Yeah, but I think it's different factors though.
That's what I'm saying.
You making it seem like if y'all ate the exact same thing at the exact same time.
I know, that's what I'm like. Well, maybe it's just the way our body breaks things down. And my dad, he does smoke, not cigarettes, but he smokes like the Black and Milds or whatever. So that could have something to do with it too. Maybe I don't know. And I've always liked taking vitamins. Yeah, I've been taking vitamins for a really long time, and I always take different ones. So maybe that has a lot to do with it. And my mom, she takes vitamins like crazy.
I had to stop taking those vitamins that I got from GNC.
Was it the 1-a-day vitamins?
I'm not sure if the 1-a-day or the men's or something.
I think it was the men's 1-a-day for you.
It gave me a pure headache. I'm like, man, I don't know what was in it that was just throwing my body off. But see, I kept pushing it and kept taking it more, thinking that it was gonna maybe I'm tripping. You know what I mean? I'll take that multivitamin. I'll take another multivitamin. My head it's just throbbing.
Yeah, it was too
and I'm
much.
like, I think it's the multivitamin. I stopped taking it.
Yeah, I remember because I got it for you.
Yeah,
because that's why I'm like, I remember because the boys, they take their vitamins every morning, and if I forget, they'll remind me. So they have the vitamins. I take my vitamins. So I was like, well, let me get you on some vitamins. So when I got those for you, they didn't work. I was like, yeah, you just need to stop taking them. But now we're on the maca root.
Is it maca or maca root? Maca root.
I got a New Orleans accent.
I love maca root.
Yeah, I'm loving that right now.
I recommend that to anybody. Try maca root. Man, not only am I sharper at night, I'm talking about I could be tired, but I'm sharp.
Yeah.
And it feels clean. Like if you've ever taken like anything that like keeps you up, even like caffeine.
Caffeine, yeah.
It puts you in some type of like, it's a methamphetamine per se. So you're like, you're up.
Yeah,
exactly. But maca root is like really clean. It gives you good energy. I feel stronger. Like, I think my vision's better, I don't know if that's true.
Maybe though, but I mean, I think so. I mean, like I know for me, it gives me more energy, and I'm, like I've always been a morning person, but recently, I want to say since this whole COVID thing, I feel like waking up in the morning was a little bit harder for me. Like I'll wake up, but then I'll just kind of lay there for a little bit, and be like, oh, I don't want to get up. But with this maca root, I've been able to just jump up, Yeah,
you feel ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Like even this morning, cause we went to bed really late, and I normally wake up about 6:45, 7 o'clock, but because we fell asleep late, I ended up waking up like my body woke up at 7:45. Yeah, like literally, like my eyes opened up and I was like, and I just jumped up. Yeah, like it didn't even take me any time.
No alarm, no nothing.
No alarm,
boom.
No nothing. Yeah, my body was just like, you need to get up.
And but you are a morning person, so
I know I am. I am a morning person, but we were up till like 5 in the morning. So, but then I only took like a 10-minute nap today. You know, and I still feel pretty energized, and it's late.
Do you attribute all that to the maca root, or do you think it's part like your water, the water intake? Oh.
I mean, I've been drinking better water. Like we've been doing the what's this?
Essentia? Yeah.
And
is it your favorite water so far?
It's my favorite. I love it, y'all.
Game changer, right?
Game changer. And see, I don't like to recommend anything but I'm gonna go ahead and recommend it because this water tastes so clean and pure. And ever since we started drinking it, when I drink something different, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, why were we drinking this before? You know, like this water is so good. So I think that has a lot to do with like my mood and my energy. And then also I do a different type of vitamin called GEM, GEM. And it's
You talking about that little
it's like
block
a little cube. Yeah.
The earthy cube that you take?
Yeah, it's very earthy, guys. It's like grass and seaweed.
What does that
kale.
do? So what is it called?
It's called GEM, GEM.
Okay, what does it
like,
do?
So it just has different things. It boosts your immune system. It gives you energy. You know, it helps with like your skin. It does a lot. It's green, and then they put cocoa powder in it. You can get it's 3 different flavors. They have cocoa powder, lemon, or peppermint. So I've been doing the cocoa powder because I love chocolate. And it tastes.
Cocoa powder's a flavor? Oh, that they have?
Well, like it's like it's chocolate, you know, but it's I like it, but it does have like a earthy taste to it.
Does it get in your braces?
It gets all in my braces.
So you got to brush your teeth and do all that.
Yeah, so I eat it and then I brush my teeth afterwards. Because man, even after I brush my teeth, it's like you see it all in the sink, like sprinkles of like the grass and stuff. But
I thought those are the herbs that help you, and you're just wasting them.
No, because it's a huge seed. I mean, not seed, a huge cube. But they put like kale in it and what's those little small little seeds? Oh, I can't think of the name of it. I can't think of the name.
Oh, chia seeds?
Chia seeds, yeah, they have those in it as well. So it's like a whole bunch of good stuff that's just like compact and tightly packed. Yeah. So I take one of those every day. And
how'd you hear about that?
Man,
What, is that a bad question?
You already know.
What?
It was an ad on Instagram. I told you these ads, they be getting me. So it was an ad on Instagram, and it was like over like, I don't know, like 30,000 reviews, and everybody had something positive to say about it. So I made sure I looked at all the reviews, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. So I tried it, and I was like, oh, it's really not that bad. And I have seen a change especially in my energy. And my skin is getting better too. So I was like, I like it. I mean, I'm just gonna keep trying it and see. Yeah, this is my 2nd month. So
is that like a multivitamin type thing, or
it
what?
It is, and it's only for women. So it helps with like, I guess, your estrogen and your hormones. So it does a lot, but they only make it for women for right now. I'm assuming, not for men. But it is.
I'm starting to see the difference of products for women and products for men.
What's the difference?
Actually, like I'm seeing more products that are geared towards women. I used to see just stuff for anybody, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But now specifically for women.
Yeah, I think, and that's good. I think it should be specifically for women, specifically for men, because obviously we have estrogen, you guys have testosterone. So, we need different vitamins for different things, you know, especially for women who are, who goes to like, menopause and stuff like that. We just need something to keep our hormones in check, Keep your hormones in check. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not, because, like they used to have general stuff, like hair care products will be shared amongst men and women. But now they have way more specifically for women.
They do.
I wouldn't say there's more specifically for men. It's just really the same old, same old.
True. And then even for women, they got like really specific. It's like if you got straight hair, curly hair, wavy hair, you could pick between the 3. So because I remember like growing up, we didn't have all those different options. It was just shampoo. Either you buy the black people shampoo or you buy the white people shampoo. That was it. It wasn't like no difference of hair textures. But now there's like a hair care line strictly for curly hair or wavy hair or straight hair. So I love that.
That's great. I knew they were onto something when back in the day, when people get their hair done for my mom, and they'll she'll say, what kind of perm do you want? And they're like, I want super, there's like what, super, there's regular, what is it?
And maybe light, maybe.
Yeah.
I remember those. I used to get relaxers. Well, we called them perms, but I think the real term is called relaxer, because a relaxer straightens the hair. A perm curls it. Yeah. But in New Orleans, and I'm sure everywhere else, we called it perm. But yeah, I would get a perm.
I thought a perm straightened. No.
A perm is what makes it curly, and then a relaxer is what relaxes it, what makes it straight. But black people, we say perm.
Yeah. So did you use Just For Me?
I did. I used Just For Me.
Just For Me.
I used that when I was a kid. I remember Just For Me. And I remember using, I think it was like Dark and Lovely. Because I used
Dark and Lovely.
Yeah, I know. I would relax. I relaxed my hair all the way up until college. And I remember one person, she was like, why do you relax your hair? Like, you should just wear it natural. I was like, I never even thought of that, honestly.
Why is that? You kind of were conditioned to like do it like that?
Yeah, I just always either permed my hair or I straightened it with a flat iron. I never thought to just like let it grow out naturally. So when she said that to me, I was just like, oh, I never even thought about that. And so I just grew my hair out naturally. And then, you know, even when I was straightening it, I still had my natural like curl pattern. And then obviously, you know, up until now, I've been wearing my hair curly, but now I've been wearing it just like straight, you know.
Yeah.
So
What do you love? Curly or straight?
now I like the straight.
I
love the curly. I did for a moment. I did it for like, I don't know, 3-4 years.
Because you switching it up. You switching it up with the middle split.
Yeah, I'm doing the middle split. And it's crazy because all my life I've been told that I don't have the head shape to do a middle split, a middle part. And so even when I would try to do a middle part, it just didn't look right.
Yeah.
My hair wouldn't lay right. I was like, I can't do it. And I would always do a side part. And this side part is permanent. But recently, maybe as of like 3-4 months ago, I've been doing a middle part. I said, let me just try it. I tried it. I was like, I like it, you know? And then now I'm wearing it. Yeah, I love my middle part. I
Swag
feel like
different.
a whole different person.
You are the whole different person with
I
it.
know, but now I'm ready to just chop it off and start all over again.
Oh, no. I like when you chop it off. I thought you meant the bob. That's what I thought you was talking about, getting a bob.
I was thinking about getting a bob, but I think I just want to start all over.
Okay, cool. I'm fine with that.
I know.
Yeah, look at how you try.
Look at you. Look at you.
What do you think about women who, when they're about to cut their hair, you think like whether in a relationship, you know, married or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, should they ask or should they say something to their significant other before?
I feel like we had this conversation before.
For real?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we had it on the podcast, but I feel like we did have this conversation. So I feel like you should drop some hints, but I don't feel like you should ask for permission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, you'd be like, hey, babe, what do you think about me in short hair? Like, I kind of want to try it, you know, and see what they say. But I don't think
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you say, hey, I'm about to go get my hair done. And you already know like how I feel. Like you're like, oh, you like short hair, you like all that, but you just get it done. You're like, surprise. You like that? Or do you think, I think I should let them know beforehand so I don't throw them off guard?
See, I would want to surprise you.
For real?
I would probably, my first mind would be to go into it as a surprise. But then I would feel so guilty while I'm sitting in the chair. I'd be like, babe, I was trying to surprise you, but I'm actually about to get my hair cut off, so I don't want you to be like super surprised when I get home.
Some people don't want the truth because in there's a talk show where I think they went to Dr. Phil because they were having relationship issues, a man and his girl, you know, and like basically like they're asking like what's the problem? It's like, I mean, her hair. I just gotta be honest, her hair. And people like, you don't talk about a woman's hair, right?
Yeah.
So then he's like, when you gonna like grow it back? Because you know she cut it. At least in this particular example, she cut it and it was going like natural.
Okay.
So her hair was kind of like short, kind of afro-ish, right? And he just didn't like it. He's like, why can't you just like, you know, wear weave or have a long? She's like, because it's my. So they were like arguing, like, because it's my hair. I own it. You can't tell me what to do with my body. Probably being a little extra because she's on TV,
of course.
And then he's like, man, he just looked frustrated. Like that's the only thing, you know. And they're like, he has to get over that, you know.
He has to get over that. How you gonna change something about her that is 100% her? That hair grows out of her scalp. That's how that is her in her truest form. You're telling her she needs to cover up what she truly looks like?
No, not to say cover up what you truly look like. I'm saying that if you have a hairstyle,
that's not a hairstyle.
Okay.
If you got a curly fro, if your hair is natural, that's not like a hairstyle. That's just how your hair naturally grows out. I'm
saying if you have a particular style of hair.
Okay, look, I'm ready.
Okay, that is in essence unattractive to the person that you're with. What is he supposed to say? What's he like?
He's supposed to say nothing.
Oh, he's just supposed to be good with it.
He's supposed to be good with it. He's supposed to lie.
Y'all don't want the truth?
I love your hair. Yeah, we want the truth, but not when it's like
negative or bad.
I mean, I get it when it's like, babe, I don't really want you to wear makeup. You know, I love you when you just without makeup. Then that's different. But you're telling this girl to change something about herself that is
It's
100% her. Yeah, that's basically the same thing as saying, you know what, babe, I don't really like your small chest. Can you go get implants? Or I don't really like your big boobs. Can you go like get them downsized or something? It's like, how you gonna have her change who she is?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, he has no say so in her hair. Like, he should just be like, it's beautiful.
I know, but that's part of what I'm trying to understand. He doesn't have a say so, and he should appreciate it, right?
Exactly.
But if he doesn't, he should just be quiet.
Just be quiet
and take it.
But
if he's not attracted to it, and that therefore it's anti-seductive to him, and and therefore he cannot either be the same man he usually is for her.
Oh my God!
Due to the hair,
it is hair.
You don't understand. You don't understand.
Hair be breaking up relationships?
No. I'm saying that a certain look. Like, if you have a look and you like it, and then a girl that, like, if you love hair and she decides to go bald, you see what I'm saying? You can't just be like, oh, this is like, I love it. You don't want to be lied to. But then on the other hand, if he tells you the truth and it hurts your relationship, you just like how you're thinking, it's petty. Well, it's just hair, you know?
It is. I mean, but I get it though, because if you were to one day come home with like some dreads, I'd be like,
imagine if I braided my beard.
I know, I would be like, what are you doing? You know,
but I like it, you know.
I know, I'd be like, well, okay, if you like it, I love it, but secretly I hate it. But I wouldn't voice that. I wouldn't be like, oh, you need to cut your hair. Like, for a perfect example, my brother, he was growing out dreads. He had it for I don't know about a year. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate his hair. But I'm not gonna tell him that. And then finally he pops up on Instagram, a few weeks ago, and he cut his hair off. And I'm like, thank God, you know, like, thank God he cut his dreads off. And I'm sure his girlfriend was probably saying the exact same thing, because she met him when he didn't have dreads, and then he's growing dreads in a relationship, and he cuts it off. And I'm like, that is what looks great on him. His, no dreads. But
see, how hypocritical is it to say that those dreads are 100% his?
No. First of all, he grew his hair out, but he twisted it. That's a style. Dreads is a style. Your hair doesn't just grow out dreaded. He styled it that way. Now, if he was growing it out into an afro, then that's different. But he styled it into dreads. So if your hair grows out curly and she's wearing it in a curly afro, then that's her hair, you know?
Yeah, but a guy could grow his hair out in dreads if he neglects his hair.
Yeah, but that's hair neglect.
Oh my God.
No, look, I get what you're saying, but I honestly do feel like, you shouldn't change.
It shouldn't break you up.
No, it shouldn't break you up. And I get it. Some men are attracted to women who have long hair. First of all, I dated a guy, obviously back in the day, who only dated girls with long hair. That was it. He would only date girls with long hair. And then one day I popped up and I just chopped my hair off, and he was just like, oh, if I knew you were going to do that, then I wouldn't have dated you.
See?
I was like, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I moved on real quick.
I know, but you see how something so small, it's weird, because if it's about, because in that case, what you're talking about is that this person kind of fetishizes hair,
I guess
right?
so, yeah.
And then if he fetishizes hair and you cut it, his fetish is gone.
True. And I'm gone too. Look, I'm walking out the door as well.
Let's go.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I get it. People do have their particular taste. And then when you change that taste of what that person liked, but I feel like the beauty is within, you know what I mean? Yes, people are attractive, but you still should see like their personality should be what's more attractive,
like what's the girl on, Married to Medicine, bald head girl.
Oh, I love her. I can't think of her name. Oh, Imani.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love her. She's my favorite.
But how I look at a woman like her, super that bald head to me is super intimidating.
Yeah, super, and she's tall too.
Yeah, tall,
fit.
Yeah, fit, beautiful, right? And then for her to find someone, based on her hair type or you know what I mean, or style.
Yeah.
It's dependent, right? Like it might be like for a man to be with a woman who has a bald head. If let's say they both got bald heads, you know what I mean?
Kind of dope.
Actually, it might not
and
be.
then they have like little bald head children.
But they kind of look like brothers and sisters.
No, they wouldn't.
You don't think?
No.
If I saw two bald head people, I'm like, that's interesting. That's kind of interesting.
Was bald head. I mean, I think they're going through a divorce though.
Yeah.
But I want to say he was bald head. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember. But There's some men out there who fetish bald head women. I don't know.
There's women who out there fetish bald head men.
I like men who are bald.
Yeah.
My dad, he's been bald pretty much all my life. I remember the day he cut his hair, I cried. But then after that, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
How old were you?
I don't know. I was super 27? Young. No. I had to have been like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old, maybe younger. And I remember him coming out the bathroom and he had just shaved it all off. But he cut himself so much where he had little tissue paper stuck, on every cut. So you could see like blood everywhere. And I was just like, what happened? I was like, I want my daddy back. I remember just crying, but then I got used to it.
I helped my dad shave his head last week.
Really?
Yeah, he'll just walk up to me, just have a razor, he's like, here. And then he'll sit.
Ask.
Yeah, he'll sit down. He's like, right here. And then he'll be like, then I'll do it. I'll shave it, and then he'll touch around. He's like, right here.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It's like a kind of bonding though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it is with me and you. I don't know if y'all know, but I cut Michael's hair.
Yeah, you do. Luckily, there's nothing there to cut, but you do a really good job.
Thank you. I've been practicing on Michael's head, so I love it. I mean, I like cutting your hair, and then I feel like it's bonding too.
Yeah. Well, at first, I think you dreaded it. And then the experience of it was different.
Well, I was afraid to cut your hair, and then I got used to it. And then he would ask me at the wrong times to cut his hair. You would ask me like right when I get out the shower and I'm just like about to go to bed. You'd be like, "Hey, babe, can you cut my hair?" I'm just like,
Oh, look, let me help y'all with something. So in case anybody has any communication issues, is that I miscommunicated it. I would say, "Hey, can you help me cut my hair?"
Yeah.
So she's thinking, oh, he needs me to just kind of clean it up a little bit.
Exactly. When you ask for help, I'm thinking you already started. You just need me to finish.
Yeah. Yes. But what I meant is, can you cut my hair?
The entire thing.
Yeah. And that was the whole difference. I'm like,
yes.
Why don't you want to help? He's like, I thought I was just helping. I didn't think I was going to do it. I'm like, well, it's kind of the same thing. But I understood now. Even today, I just said, hey, can you cut my hair?
Exactly. And when you say, hey, can you cut my hair about 5:15? I'm like, yeah, perfect. I could do it,
Yeah, it's much easier.
Yeah, it's much easier because, you had to we had to kind of get into it a little bit to figure out like, okay, this is what I meant. You're like, okay, well, this is what I meant. And I'm like, then we had to figure out, okay, there was a misunderstanding, but now we understand each other. So now I cut your hair, you know what I'm saying? I'm back to cutting his hair.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I love it. There's a meme. I saw this. I was going to ask you earlier today. There's this meme where it said your wife and your mother get in an argument or something like that, and y'all leaving a restaurant. They said, who rides in the front seat?
Your mom.
You say your mom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would never ever have your mom sitting in the back seat.
I feel like if a man had to choose, I would think that it would have to be his wife.
I would think so too. I would think that a man would choose his wife, but I know me, I would just not have your mom sit in the back seat.
I think that's how it is now. When your mom.
Yeah, well, mama,
I'm driving. Yeah, you're in the back.
And I always.
Or sometimes the other way around.
My mom sits in the back, but I always tell her, "Hey, you go sit in the front. I'll sit in the back." She's like, "No, I'll sit in the back. I want to be with the boys anyway." So, I'm always offering up the front seat to my mom anyway. And if your mom and me, which would never happen, get into an argument because we're like the exact same person, so we would never argue about anything. I know you would choose me over your mom, but at the end of the day, you'd be like, Blas, you hop in the front and be like, no, it's okay. Mom,
I feel like that's the default. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what would happen.
Yeah, that's the part that wasn't in there. Like the none of the above. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like that extra answer because there's two defaults. How I see it, I was like, man, if it's a mother and your wife, I'm like, to me, I'm like, no brainer, it's gonna be your wife because you gotta deal with her when you go home.
Exactly.
And then, like in-laws are just different. So I feel like you just gotta, when you're dealing with like in-laws, that you're always going to be like second default.
Exactly.
But then the second part what I thought was a default was if you're the only way I feel like it's almost a no-brainer for the wife to be in the back is if like, maybe there's like a baby in the car seat.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's a respect thing. At the end of the day, like, regardless of our differences, you're still my mother-in-law and you're still my elder. I still have to respect you. So you got to sit in the front.
That's a power move. You feel like that who sits in the front is like a power move?
No, I don't think. I don't be thinking into stuff like that. It's just, for me, it's just more of a respect thing. Like, to get into the back of a car, that's a struggle. You know what I mean? You got to like, You got to climb in. You got to scoot over. You know, it's a lot of work. When you just climb in the front, you just climb in the front. Like, I would never want to put your mom through that. Like, just climbing into the back of the seat, squeezing in between the car seats. You know, it's too much work. So,
but there's a lot of like little like nuances, you know, to especially in like Nigerian culture, because like let's say we're at a party and you're sitting down, you're having a good time.
Yeah.
And then like, hey, food's ready. I'm like, I'm gonna grab you a plate.
Oh.
And I bring a plate.
Yeah.
Let's say I bring a plate out to you. You know, I might see my mom in the corner like,
trust me, I know.
Oh my God. And then my dad's like, oh my God, my son.
Wow,
and
this is so funny.
And I'm like boiling.
Oh
like
my
not boiling.
God.
I'm just like sweating because I'm like, oh my God, this is so awkward because the pressure that your parents put on you when you're in a different environment.
I know.
Because you gotta, it's kind of weird in I would say Western society or in America, it doesn't matter who gets it, you know?
Right, exactly.
It is, I don't know if I want to say like the submissive part of, you know, your wife or who you know, whoever you're with, when, you know, when they serve you, right? But in Nigeria, it's like a thing.
Yeah.
Like a man is not to go pick up his own
plate.
Yeah, put it together. And, you know, her and I were just kind of like whoever's closest to the kitchen.
Exactly.
And then, you know, but when I'm around my parents, I'm like, oh my God, think it through. And then like, I remember one time I picked up the plates and I'm like, here you go. Then my mom was kind of like, oh my God, you know, like you can see her face like, oh man, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm seeing.
I know why you do it, because you still do it to this day. Whenever we're at your parents, well, now, I mean, I make my own plate now, but when we, like, I guess early dating or maybe a few years ago, you would make my plate, but it's because it's your food, it's your culture. You know how to serve it. Like when I'll make the food, you be like, blah, that's too much. Like you put too much sauce. You got to put a little bit. You know, I don't know how to fix the food. So you are familiar with the food. So of course you're going to get up and make your plate, make my plate. And now I know how to do it. I kind of know how you, like it. So I can make it for you. But you just run to the kitchen as soon as we get to the house.
That's the first place I go.
Off, you go straight to the kitchen and you already eating. And then you be like, oh, blah, you want a plate? I'm like, well, yeah, you already in the kitchen. Go ahead and make me a plate.
Exactly. And then when I'm done, here you go. And then my mom's like, I was like, what? I was like, what's going on?
She's like, you need to sit down.
Yeah. You're in the middle like, what? What's going on? I was like, man, this is, you know, I learned today. Because my again CPA, she's Indian. Yeah, they said a lot of times Indians they live in the same house together. They buy a huge mansion, and all the families married. Everyone lives together.
I've heard that. Even
not a bad idea.
Asians do that as well too. Like when I grew up in this area called Michoud in New Orleans, and it was predominantly Asians that lived there, and they did the exact same thing. The grandmother, the mom, the dad, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, everybody lived in the house. Everybody. And they all contribute to the bills. Like that's not a bad idea though, right? I mean, it's not a bad idea, but yeah. Can you imagine my mom and dad being here, living with us every day? We could barely take it when they just here for a few days.
Even crazier. The mother-in-law and her husband are in the master bedroom.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah,
and we said they get second pick, you know, of the bedroom.
That's crazy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and you know,
kind of cool though.
It's not that bad, you know. They said the only time they said disagreements happen is that when someone cooks food and like the other family eats the food, like the cousins and stuff like that, right? And then they said, I was like, does anybody ever cheat? Just like very rare that happens, right? But what does happen a lot is a lot of cousin love. Oh, but they said in their religion or in their culture, they marry first cousins.
No, ma'am, I could not.
Is that too taboo?
That's disgusting to me.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I couldn't marry none of my first cousins.
I know when she's like, yeah, you know, we can marry our first cousin. I was like,
You can? What do you mean you can marry them?
Yeah, like it's too close. It's not a big deal, I guess. You know,
that's too close to me.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this is different.
Man. Yeah, this is they have this Real Housewives of I forgot it's a new one. I can't remember it, but there's a lady on there who had an arranged marriage and she married her like grandmother's second husband.
Wow.
Yeah, her grandmother ended up passing away.
She married her grandmother's second husband?
Yeah.
Wow.
Her grandmother passed away and then the granddaughter married her step grandfather.
Wow.
Gross, right?
Wow.
So I haven't watched it. I've just seen like the commercial, but to me she looked like she's in her
But step is different
50s, though. I don't know, but he married your grandmother.
Like I saw, like there's a TikTok couple, like step brother and sister.
That was kind of like Bobby Christina, right?
Yeah.
She married her stepbrother.
Yeah, technically, it's not bad.
I don't know. I mean, it's not, but it's
The optics of it is like bad, right?
Yeah.
But technically, they're not related.
I mean, they're not related, so yeah, you're right, technically, but still, it's just kind of weird.
It's not to me, honestly. I know I wouldn't marry a steps. I mean, I don't know how that would even go.
Yeah.
But I don't see it like when people are like, oh, you're marrying your stepsister, your stepbrother. I'm like, I don't see it as that crazy because they're not even related.
Yeah, I don't know.
I see it as weird, but I don't see it as crazy.
Weird. It's kind of like if, let's say, for instance, we adopted a baby girl.
No.
And then our son's like, it's the same thing to me. Like, technically, you're not related, but you can marry her because y'all ain't blood related. It's like, no, that's disgusting.
But why is it so weird when they grew up around each other?
Because they grew up around each other. Like, they're cousins, they're family.
No, not cousins. I'm talking about if
the stepbrother and sister?
Yeah.
Because I think it's the title.
Yeah.
Like, that's my stepbrother. You know? And people ask, like, oh, how did you meet? It's like, oh, his dad married my mom.
Stop.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the story you gotta share. I feel like that is the disgusting part.
Yeah.
It ain't like, oh, we met at the movies or
people hate. Nowadays how people are meeting now. People lie about how they met.
Oh yeah, of course, because a lot of them are meeting on social media, and that's kind of embarrassing.
Fake asses. It's kind of whack.
You said fake ass.
It's annoying. You're like, oh, how'd y'all meet?
Yeah.
And then the fabricated story comes like, well, it's a crazy story. His sister, but really. Tinder.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You swipe left or right. Or
yeah, just say
swiped.
Tinder.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't mind it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's cool if you could just be okay with it. But
exactly.
They have this like weird, somewhat extravagant story that has holes in it. You know, like, your sister knew him. It's like, well, actually, and then at some point, it's like,
they end up revealing
a dating app. We're on this dating app. I'm like, oh, that's cool because they know automatically if you meet on a dating app, you're like, what does that mean when you you?
I don't know, but do you remember? I'm not gonna say no names. We went to a wedding one time a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know who was speaking. I feel like it was the bride's dad or mom or something.
No, it was a best man.
It was the best man. Yeah, the best man was speaking, gave his speech, and mentioned or revealed to everybody, huge party that they met, that the bride and groom met on like Facebook or something.
Yeah, like some either some online or something.
Online
yeah.
app. And everybody kind of like
gasped. And we were
like looked around and was like,
and you could tell the family behind like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then he broke down the story like, I remember when he saw it on the internet and he saw her picture. I'm like, man, she do look good. And then they dating. And I'm like, wow, the family was just like, what are you saying?
It was embarrassing. And I remember you even saying, oh, did he say that? And I think your mom was like, oh my God.
Yeah, my mom was like, oh my God. You're not supposed to mention it like that.
Say it,
and then he said before he even said, he's like, look, I know it's gonna be embarrassing, but the way y'all, he said something like he's brought the story up, not trying to embarrass him, but he more trying to talk about like how sweet it was.
Exactly, but it was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was super embarrassing.
And that was a while ago. That was like 6-7 years ago. So for that to happen then, and then for it to still happen now, people still get embarrassed about it. Don't be embarrassed. I mean, if you on it for a reason. So if you end up finding love on the dating app, then it works.
I feel like that's fine. Like I know people who've met people on dating apps.
Same.
No problem. But when you got, I guess sometimes it matters, like because people get married or get into relationships for the wrong reasons.
True.
For optics, what I mean? They want to make sure that people see them a certain way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of lame when they're like, oh, this is gonna be our story. If you go into it like that, how you gonna work? You know what I mean?
True. I think you should be proud to say we met on Tinder.
Boom.
Because
yeah.
You can actually tell people like who wants to be in a relationship, say you need to try Tinder.
Yeah.
Because it worked. I found my husband on Tinder. Like I don't think you should be embarrassed about it.
But I think people think that if you meet online, that it's automatically like short term. Like it's not real. It doesn't last. You took a shortcut.
Yeah, I mean,
because here's the thing: like when you meet someone online, compatibility is not based on people being just like you. Yeah. That's why a lot of them fail. Because no one's compatible like that. You know,
Yeah.
when they say opposites attract, you can't just put the opposite metrics and find your soulmate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more happens like random. So I feel like when they try to create, what type of guy do you like? He needs to be this height. It needs to do this, and he needs to do that. Y'all meet, y'all get together, and y'all don't really like each other.
Yeah.
Because that's not really how love works.
Right, exactly.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, and then you don't fall in love with your perfect guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how some girls like, oh, I want a 6 foot tall, dark, handsome guy. It's like, you don't know who you're going to fall in love with. You might end up falling in love with like a short, white man, you know?
Yeah, but that was
on girlfriends.
Yeah,
like, you just never know. Yeah, you have your type, but you could keep on trying to chase your type. God may not even have that in store for you. You might end up marrying or falling in love with somebody completely opposite.
Future said it best though. He said, if you get money, then you're her type. What do you think about that? No?
Well, yeah. I mean, with the way these girls are acting out here, like, don't nobody want to work. So I guess so.
It's
if
true.
you're rich, then you everybody type.
That's true. That's true. I think that when you talk about makeup, that's a man's makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if a guy has money, you have nothing to worry about.
Exactly. Well, it's funny because I was listening on the radio. I can't remember what I was listening to, but they were talking about how in LA, girls are different out there.
They are.
And they were saying that girls, they'll round up all their girlfriends. They'll go to a basketball game and they'll sit real close to the floor, and you can see them pinpoint who they want to date. And you can see this is some comedian guy. He was saying that you can hear the girls, you can overhear them say, "Oh no, don't talk to him because he just signed. They're about to let him go or trade him." And they know like stats and everything. And so I forgot the comedian who said it, but he was saying that, girls would just come up to him and start talking to him as if they don't know what he does. So then when he reveals that, oh, I'm a comedian, they're like, oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like they play dumb, but they know exactly who this person is. And they do that with these athletes because obviously they have money. They want to lock it down real quick. But he's like, yeah, I go to these games and I can see like the way they dress, and he's like, I can see them pointing, and then you can hear them like spitting out stats. Like they know the numbers.
It's
way
a strategy.
better. Yeah, it's a strategy. And then even when the football players come to the basketball games and they just sitting in the stands, the girls will be like, oh no, don't talk to him because he just hurt himself. Like they ain't signing him. Yeah, and I'm just like, it's crazy. This is kind of like what it is.
What it
you know
is.
what I mean? It's crazy.
Wow.
But,
Well, I had the word that I want you to tell me what you think about it.
okay.
Duplicitous. You heard of this?
I heard of this word before.
It's one of my favorites though.
Duplicitous.
Duplicitous.
Yeah, I heard this
That's
word.
like when someone's like sneaky or doing something that's not all the way good.
Okay. Duplicitous.
Yeah, duplicitous. Have you ever? I'm sure that you've been in a duplicitous situation with someone like that can't be trusted. You know what I mean? Doing something like sneaky around you, like very duplicitous. You ever had that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like that happens to everybody though. You always got to have like an eye in the back of your head because somebody around you always being sneaky.
I feel like that's the way of describing like a friend of me.
Oh yeah,
Very
that
duplicitous.
Too, for sure.
Like, you can't, they're always doing something sneaky around you. And it's weird,
I don't think I've ever had like a friend of me. If I did, I don't know. I wouldn't have known.
You're lucky though.
Yeah, I've never been in like those type of situations. Not no friend of me type of situations.
How about if you're the friend of me?
That's impossible.
That is.
I like everybody
I know you're the best.
until you do something to me.
True.
Then I don't like you no more.
Is that a Virgo thing? Or is that a you thing?
I think it's a Virgo and a me thing. I'm not big on giving people chances.
Yeah.
I feel like when you show your true colors when I first meet you, that's the first impression you want to give, then I'm good. I don't need to know you anymore.
I get that. Well, this has been super great.
Of course.
Man, this is great. I loved it.
I talk too much sometimes. I think I get that from you.
No, I talked a lot in this one too.
This is
I feel
true.
like I talk too much, So I always let you talk, because I could talk, you know.
You can out talk me. That's for sure.
Well, cool. Appreciate y'all for joining us. We had a great time. We'll see y'all later.
Yeah.
Peace out. And look, y'all have a happy Thanksgiving And if you listen to this after Thanksgiving, I hope you ate good. And remember, if you're around your family and friends, just remember that reasonable minds differ. So it's okay to walk away. Peace out.